Welcome, guys. I'm so glad that you're here. So earlier this week, I had my wife talk about getting started and why it's good to start early. And she mentioned one important thing in what she was talking about, and that was compound interest. So she said that I was showing her how compound interest works and why it's good to get started early. And so today I just want to dive into just a compound interest calculator, and I want to show you what it really means to have an investment grow over the course of time, because it's a little bit different in an investment than it is to just have a job. A lot of times when we have a job, we think very linear. So we think, if I have a higher paying job, then I'm going to have more on a regular basis to have come in. And that is the case. Or you might be able to reduce expenses. You're going to have that on a regular basis. But the interesting thing with compound interest is it doesn't work like that. It's actually very interesting because it sneaks up on you in the way that compound interest works. It's very slow. You almost think like, oh man, I'm only getting 7% or 8% interest on my investment or my money. So what's the point? Like, I'm only seeing a fraction of a difference. But what ends up happening over the course of time is it snowballs up. It does this big U curve all the way up. And so then all of a sudden in the latter part of the compound interest cycle, you're like, whoa, this is so much money. I cannot believe how much is there. And so this is what I want to show you, how that U curve actually works. So I'm going to dive into my computer here. I've got this compound interest calculator here. And so let's just take, for simplicity's sake, $1,000. So we've got $1,000 here. Now let's project, not putting anything regular in. Let's just talk about compound interest. And I think the simplest way is just to talk about the initial investment. Now let's go to the interest rate. Let's do that 8% that we were talking about. Let's go monthly interest compounded monthly, time horizon in years. So we've got, let's just say we want to do 5 years, right? Or 2 years. Let's just do 2 years. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about here. So in 2 years' time, you're like, okay, so $1,000 is going to get me $172, right? Or you might go into year one and you just finished year one and you're looking at it and you're like, oh my goodness, I only made $83. Well, let's project this out over the course of, say, 30 years. Or let's go 10. Let's just progress up here. Okay, let's say 10. Okay, so now you can see here, wow, that $1,000 has more than doubled. So you've more than 2 times your money. Well, let's say we go another 10. Whoa, you've almost 5 times your money there. Now let's go 30, sorry. Look at that. Almost 11 times your initial investment. So you can see that really has a significant impact in being able to put in funds. Now, let's say for just let's say we want to add contributions monthly. Now, if you look at this, you've got significant gains if you're doing even just $100 monthly. Look at the return over the course of 30 years. And another interesting thing too to think about is not just regular monthly giving to your investments, but also the interest rate. Like, look at the difference between a 1%. Let's look at 30 years with just a 90%. You could see here that instead of it just being 11,000, now we've got 14,000. So that's a significant difference. Like, we're talking another 3 times your initial investment in return just by 1%. And then let's go in the reverse of that. Let's go to 7%. Let's calculate that. So you could see here you've only got 8 times. And so you get the point. Basically, whenever you're focused on your investments, one of the things to pay attention to when you're looking at that compound factor is making sure that you can maximize that percentage point, and then also looking at it like it's not going to really have a strong effect until later. And so it's good to have an initial investment that you're able to put in, but then also little tiny deposits along the way so that you could start snowballing and getting that snowball to move a little bit faster. And so I just wanted to show you the power of compound interest and why it's a good idea to start early. Take care.